So I bet that isn't a sound you lot have heard, and quite frankly, I haven't heard in a hot sec myself. Essentially, I haven't uploaded a video on the Scirocco in absolutely months, and quite frankly, I'm excited to be recording again because the Scirocco is what kind of started off my channel, the love for modifying cars and making it normal going into debt over a bit of metal on four wheels. As always, if you are new to the channel, please hit the like and subscribe. I want 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I think at the time of recording I'm on 1,998. I'm 2 off 2,000 subscribers, what's amazing. I'm currently battling really bad hay fever as well. I don't feel the best. However, in this video, I'm going to be basically going over the entire story of my 2016 Scirocco. But before I do that, story of my life, I've got to go to Esso and get some of that nice 99 momentum. So then the story of my Scirocco starts all the way back on the 26th of February 2022. What many people don't know is I actually did buy this car from Copart. I'm not ashamed of having a crash damaged car, believe me, because in the long run, it was a decent investment in my behalf. I bought this car when I was 18 years of age. So now what a lot of people are probably thinking right now is how, as an 18-year-old, did I manage to actually get a 2-litre TSI DSG Scirocco, insure it, tax it, you know, just have one legit, you know, not like driving no insurance, etc., etc. And pretty much that is the whole reason I was able to get this for a fraction of the price I'd pay on Auto Trader, eBay, Marketplace, VW dealership. You know, like I got it for a very good price. And the thing with Copart is sometimes it's like a bit of a mystery prize. Like you don't know what you're getting until actually you go and see it in person. On the pictures on Copart of this car, it was pretty much as what you see now, minus the modifications. There was no body panels hanging off exactly. The engine ran sweet, the gearbox ran sweet. Everything was perfectly fine on this car. So essentially what had happened was the old owner had crashed this car. It went through insurance as a category car and then eventually ended up in Copart. What never really made sense to me, strictly because the car was fine. It had already been repaired. It had only then been chucked into Copart. So I'm not 100% sure on that one. But anyway, back to it. When I first passed my test, it was September 4th, 2021. I had a 1.25 Zetec S Ford Fiesta 2009. It was cracking. It was an amazing motor. To be honest, if I had it, I'd probably have a lot more money now if I didn't go into buying these stupid cars. But I have bought these stupid cars, so we can't go on about that. I drove that car for about 4 months, running up my whole 3,000 mile or 4,000 mile a year black box. Essentially, what happened after that was, when trying to buy more miles, I wanted like £800 for an extra 1,000 miles. I said no chance. I fully then complete my miles. I could fully run them out and then cancelled the policy. Or I cancelled the policy. They didn't cancel the policy. All that sort of stuff. I then started doing some digging and looking for a Scirocco because I always wanted this sort of Scirocco, a black petrol turbo DSG Scirocco. They don't do a DSG in the 1.4s, and as an 18-year-old, that is ideally what I wanted, was a 1.4. But then I just decided to run an insurance quote on a 2-litre DSG petrol, and it came back at a reasonable price. I think it was like 3.5 grand, 3.8 grand. Yes, it's a lot of money, but again, you're an 18-year-old in a 2-litre TSI DSG Volkswagen. You know, you can't have it all your way. All came out cool. Then, as searching, I saw one on Copart, this exact car on Copart in Wolverhampton. Perfect. Bought my membership, bidded on it, kept bidding, because some other guy thought it was funny to keep bidding. He didn't win it though, I won it. So who's the real winner? Me. Won the car, picked it up on February 26th, and the rest is history, I guess. The best thing about my Scirocco is the fact like I've always wanted to kind of get into content creation, especially on YouTube. I've had about 5 different channels on about gaming, and for some reason I just woke up and decided to give content creation on cars a crack, and it's working out so far. You know, this is just the beginning, but this Scirocco is what started the channel. back in January 2024. And since then, we've grown to almost 2,000 subscribers at the time of recording this. And it's just, this car gets views as well. Like, obviously, I have my MR2 and the Scirocco on the channel. They don't pull nowhere near as many views as this absolutely beautiful weapon right here. So let's backdate to 2008 when the Scirocco was first announced. I've been growing up around VWs pretty much my entire life, VWs and Toyotas specifically, then the whole VAG group, Audis as well. And when in 2008 the Scirocco Mark III was announced, my dad had his eyes set on one. Fast forward to 2012, I believe, he also bought his Scirocco. He bought his first Scirocco from Copart. I think it was like a 2009 plate or something. So it was only 3 years old back then. So it was still new pretty much. When driving back, the bonnet flew up, cracked the whole windscreen. So he had no windscreen. Ironically, this one, I don't think you can see it on the video, but this one also has a cracked windscreen. So there's a lot of similarities with this one and here's both categorized cars, both from Copart, both cracked windscreens, both 2-litre petrol DSGs. And it was always quite cool. And at the time of buying this, my dad had a Mark 6 GTI that I thought was a really cool car. Given it had it was the loudest Golf you'll ever hear in your life. I don't think there's many clips on my phone of it. But believe me, when you knew when that car was coming because you'd hear it from a mile away. And it didn't sound bad, believe me. It sounded evil when it was like going up the rev range. It was... Oof. He has recently just sold that though, in all fairness. But when we had this and the Golf, we had some fun times in them both, to be honest. It's something you'll tell the kids about in a few years. Unfortunately for me, I've had some problems with this car. I have a whole playlist of this whole Scirocco. I'll leave in the description below. So feel free to go and watch all of them. Basically, most of the mods I go over and some of the repairs I also go over. So just give it a quick watch and you should find the video that you're looking for because I've uploaded quite a bit on the Scirocco. However, by time I'd finished modding it, that's when I started making content. So the clock, the steering wheel, the Maxton kit, the full exhaust system, the big 19-inch Rivera wheels, the big F3 brakes on the front with some vented and grooved discs, the R bumper, Maxton kit, the lot, at that point, I'd already installed it all to the car, so I couldn't really take it all off and reinstall it again. So I've had to just kind of do it a little bit slower, if that all makes sense. Now, this car has had genuinely thousands and thousands of pounds spent on it to get to where it is today. Countless overnights here, countless hours spent. Generally blood as well, because I've cut myself a few times. I wouldn't say I've cried over the car, I don't think. So I can't say blood, sweat and tears, but definitely blood and sweat. A lot of blood and sweat into building this car to what it is today. And quite frankly, my dad and granddad did help out rebuilding this a lot. Essentially, if you're new to EA 888s with the DQ250 DSG box in, the DQ250s can't hold a stupid amount of torque. In all fairness, they're really good gearboxes, but when I had mine mapped, the more and more you think about why the gearbox went wrong when it was being tuned, it's like, was he trying to push too much torque in the gearbox, too much power through the gearbox, just anything, like the gearbox had service history as well with the car, and I then later serviced it after, and it's had 3 services and about 52k miles with the Scirocco's got. That wasn't the problem. It just, something went wrong that day and it blew up. Is what it is. DQ250 gearboxes and really good everyday gearboxes, believe me. But that's why in the Golf Rs and the RS3s, they put the DQ500 in. What can hold a lot more power. But if you aren't really pushing power, like you want to full send your car 700, 800 brake, then maybe manual might be for you. Because manual gearboxes will hold, it's always the clutches that go, but then you can buy like different competition clutches for your car to withhold all the power you want to give the car, if that all makes sense. I'm hoping it makes sense. We also have the water pump issue. Every A888 engine, I think, will end up having the external water pump done due to the silica pearls. I will eventually go on about a video on it at some point about the whole silica pearl rubbish. That was the most stupid thing VW done, because it's on par with the wet belt idea that Ford done. You get the gist. I've done everything to this car that is needed doing to it. There's not one thing this car needs. The reason it has been off the channel so long is because I was doing the heat and matrix on it due to the silica pearls in the bag breaking in the cooling system, and it just bossed up everything in its way. It's such a terrible idea. It is, my opinion, and it's going to sound biased, is I love this Scirocco to pieces. I do think it is one of the nicest Sciroccos I've personally seen, and that sounds really biased, but if you don't think that about your own car, then, you know, you've done something wrong down the line. But anyway, as I said, the Scirocco is actually back now. Essentially what had happened is the heating matrix had packed in, and I just had zero motivation to ever get it sorted. But I've fixed it now. So you should be seeing more content on the Scirocco very, very soon, to be honest. Some actual proper content as well. Because deep down, I still very much love this car. And I think it is the sounds. You get the turbo whistling from the sports cat. You get the induction noise. Then you hear the actual rest of the full custom exhaust system. It just sounds amazing. And then you have the power from the map as well. It's actually an amazing car. The only thing I do regret actually is lowering the car, sort of, because I would still lower it again, but either bags, if I had bags money, or chuck it out of Bilsteins or BC Racing, something that's a bit more soft, going over the really well built British roads, you know what I mean? But yeah, that is going to be it for the rest of this video. If you all did enjoy, then obviously please hit the like and subscribe. As I said, I'm on a mission to hit 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Obviously, it's going to sound cliche, but I can't do it without you guys. So please, it means a lot to me. Also, any likes as well is greatly appreciated. Also, comment as well what you would like to see in the future of this Scirocco, and I will try my best to get that out for you. But anyway, as always, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all on the next one.